be a Darksiders Genesis any percent solo run. On my virtual couch, I got two of my friends. We got God Gamer, Lapra _S. Say hi, Lapra.
Howdy.
And then I got my own personal life coach, Sunny Fruitcake.
Thanks again for taking the time for this. Appreciate
What's going on, man?
All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started right away. We'll all go ahead and do a countdown. And let's get going in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so this is Darksiders Genesis. For those of you that are familiar with the series, this is a prequel to the main trilogy, but it kind of takes it apart from the formula that the original trilogy put out there. We're going to be doing what is more of an isometric ARPG style game. When you're playing through this game casually, it's very hack and slashy. You do a lot of damage. You're moving around as War and Strife, but the speedrun is very, very different from that. We're going to be doing a lot of out of bounds. We're going to be doing a lot of glitches and tricks. So Lapra, you want to go ahead and explain what's coming up here?
Yes, the stream's a few seconds behind, but have you done the horse warp yet?
Yeah, there's horse warp right there.
Okay, so horse warp, you probably noticed he warped to a checkpoint. Basically, if you mount your horse at the same time as changing characters via the character wheel, you will warp to the nearest checkpoint, so it's very useful if we are out of bounds and we need to go inbounds. That'll send you right there.
All right, so we got a couple of different movement techs that are going on here. The horse warp is one of the better tricks to kind of get you back from where we're coming from. And then we have our wing clip dash cancel. You want to explain that, Sunny?
Yeah, so he has jump and wing clip bound to the same key, and then he's going to cancel it with a dash, and that's a more accurate way to move versus a super jump. It's just far more accurate, and it's just far more reliable.
All right, and then lastly, we have the super jump. Lapra, you want to explain the super jump? Because that's going to be one of the big things that's going to break this game apart.
So super jumps, you probably saw it in the last level when he went the very long distance. Basically what happens is he aims and then hits the dash key and then aims again. And it's about a 1 to 3 frame window. And if you get it correctly, it'll shoot you backwards a very long distance. If you ever notice, he tries one and he stalls in place, that means he just missed the frame window. And luckily, failing it doesn't really do anything, so you can just try again right away.
Yeah, so super jumps are going to be one of the things that we're going to do to skip large portions of levels. They're a little bit difficult to do consistently, so I'm going to be kind of subbing them out for the wing clip dash whenever I can. It's just a way to get a little bit more consistency, specifically for a marathon run. I want this to go as smoothly as possible, and failing a bunch of those is kind of painful. All right, so we're moving on to level 2 here. I'm going to use War to get up on this ledge here. So in Darksiders Genesis, we have 2 different characters. We got War and Strife. Strife is going to be used for a majority of the run. He's kind of like the glass cannon character, where he does a lot of damage, and he's very fast. He has good distance, good speed. War is kind of the bulkier tank style character, where he doesn't really do that much damage, so he's really not that useful in a speedrun. But one of the things that we will use him for is he does get a little bit more height than Strife. So that skip right there that I did at the beginning is to enable me getting that trickster key early. So moving on, I'm doing a corner boost right here. That is one of the main tricks that you're going to be seeing throughout the run. Basically, any acute angle in the terrain, very adorable, right? You can do a corner boost off of. Really, all you have to do that is kind of face into the corner and press the jump wing clip key, and that'll kind of boost you up. There is an ideal angle for every single one of these, and it's basically dead bisecting the whatever the terrain is that I'm trying to get into. Some of them I don't need to have the ideal angle to get enough height, but some of them I do. Those ones I have to use a visual cue for and other shenanigans to make sure they're a little bit more consistent. So this part of the level, I have to clear these 3 beacons. They're kind of scattered throughout the map, so I'm going to be moving around as Strife and kind of clearing them as quickly as possible.
Should also mention, I believe wing clip is Strife's main attack, so doing a wing clip dash as War doesn't really exist because War does not have wing clip.
Yeah, and it's kind of one of the weird things about this game and the way we speedrun it. you can double bind a whole lot of stuff like just via the actual in-game interface. So like I don't have access to Strife's quick attack at all unless I'm jumping at this point. But fortunately his quick attack is fairly useless. It doesn't do a ton of damage, and I'm going to be mostly using his shooting mechanic, which is going to be coming up right here. So this is the first boss of the run. You might have saw I switched to casual at the beginning of this. That's not because I'm a casual, but it's because bosses just have an absolute ton of HP at this point. I don't do a whole lot of damage, so anytime I can make a quicker boss kill, I'm going to do it. So this is one of the main pieces of tech right here that was patched out in later versions. So I'm currently running on the 1.0 patch. It is the fastest version to do speedruns on, and it allows me to do this tech. So basically what is happening here, while I'm not in hot streak, I am mashing the jump and control keys, which basically enables Strife to kind of reload his gun faster and shoot faster. Because of this, I do a lot of my like combat sections solely on keyboard and mouse. So this game does use hybrid controls. I'm constantly switching back and forth between controller and KBM, and it's going to enable me to do some very, very quick kills as well as some other shenanigans. This is only possible in the 1.0 version of the game.
Not so troubling now.
Oh, by the way, the purple orbs on the ground, that's going to be ammo. So anytime he needs more ammo, he'll run over those purple orbs that drop on the ground.
Yeah, I will make a point to pick those up. In the beginning part of this run, I don't really use too much of the secondary ammo. Once I start getting into the more combat-heavy sections, Strife really does need some more of that damage boost from using that ammo. So I did pick up Beam Shot in that chapter. Every elemental ammo type you pick up as Strife does increase his damage, so all of the ones that are like actually along the route I'm going to be picking up. Any of them that are too far out of the way I'm not going to, because they're just not worth it from a speed perspective. So moving into level 3 here, I'm going to be doing another corner boost with a clone, and it's going to send me to the top of this level, and we're just going to kind of fly across the entire beginning of this level using a super jump. I did switch it to hard at the beginning of this level. You might have saw that, which does make these enemies hit very, very hard. They're not fun to deal with, but I don't actually plan on killing any of them. They have too much HP and they don't really give me anything. What switching to hard does do is it makes me get more souls out of the chests. So I need a bunch of souls and a bunch of boatsman coins to buy upgrades. If you're familiar with this game casually, you need an absolute ton of them. I'm going to be getting exactly 3 upgrades and completing the game on that. It gets a little bit hairy by the end, but it's fast, so gotta do it.
Saving them frames.
Anything for gamer speed.
Yeah, all about that gamer speed. So into the second part of this level, I did some animation canceling there. Basically any switch or chest or anything like that, you can cancel the animation by switching characters via the equipment wheel. It's really, really handy for getting out of those. Like, so I didn't have to do an entire puzzle there because I just animation canceled the switches. This part right here is kind of like a gauntlet section, and I need to outrun the lava. Lava's very slow. I'm not super worried about it, but this is just kind of an auto-scroller section. It's really not anything terribly interesting. I'm just kind of moving through it. So one thing of note here, this game does have a quest system, so like there's various things you can do throughout the game that complete quests and give you some more currency. They give you some creature cores, which upgrade you as well. By doing this, you get the hardcore parkour quest if I don't take any damage, which is going to be used to get me some more currency, so I'm actually able to afford the upgrades that I want. Strife is doing a lot of hardcore parkour.
Time of my life over here.
This run basically is just a parkour simulator, trying to do as many like 500-meter jumps as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. It turns into a platformer game at some point. Like, this is no longer a hack and slash. We're not hacking or slashing. We're just kind of jumping all over the place. So I get on top of this gear here. There's a boss fight beyond this point, but you can just jump over the trigger. Not a big deal. And we are done with level 3 already. All right, so I'm going to be playing levels 3 through 5 on hard. This is just strictly for currency purposes. I don't actually need to kill anything in those levels, so it's much better to do them on hard. We got some more, there'll be some more difficult levels coming up after that I'm going to need to switch it back to casual because I actually do have to kill things. So this is Icebind Cavern. This is probably the longest level in the game, especially casually. It has a big, long outdoor section. We did not find any way to skip most of this junk. I have to go around and light 4 beacons. So I'm going to use some horse warps to gain verticality here, because one of the things that these characters don't really gain verticality very well unless I'm able to do a corner boost. And this map just doesn't really have a ton on this side that I can get off of that. So doing some horse warps, gaining some verticality, and doing these brazier puzzles right here.
One down.
Yeah, luckily War has a weapon that can like auto target onto different objects, and you can like get like a queue of multiple different objects at one time to hit. So that's pretty useful.
Yeah, so the Vorpal Blade is actually the only weapon that is required in this run. So again, if you play this game casually, you probably picked up, there are 6 different weapons. 2 of them you start with, 1 of them you pick up right at the first level. We don't need any of those. We can just skip absolutely every section just using our crazy movement tech. So this torch right here that I have to light, I'm going to be using Strife's Clone. So Strife's Clone has some pretty cool properties. It does a little bit of damage, but not a ton. Its main thing is it taunts the enemies away from me. So right now these guys are really annoying, so I need to get them off of War so he can complete this puzzle so I can keep going. Yeah, so there's number 2 right there. We got 3 and 4 coming up. I'm going to be doing a big out of bounds skip here. This out of bounds skip really doesn't save that much time, but it's cool to look at. The big thing is it gets me to perfectly flat terrain where I can use a super jump. If I were to go to this torch normally, it would take a little bit longer because I can't just fly across the entire screen, but here we go. And then we do another horse warp to get back in bounds. Easy every time. These puzzles can get a little bit tricky. Sometimes War doesn't like to, I can target things that are out of bounds. I can target things that, like these enemies. Targeting on his Vorpal Blade is really finicky, so I try to get it as close as possible. Sometimes if you're standing too close to this torch like that, it doesn't target, so a little unfortunate, but we're okay. We're in there.
One more to go.
Yeah, luckily screwing up these smaller tricks doesn't really hurt you too much. There's not a huge chance of death in those sections at least.
There was a chance of death right there. That guy that pops out of the cave, if I took any damage in prior sections, he can one-shot Strife. Strife just doesn't have a lot of HP, and we're playing on hard, so he does a lot of damage. He's a big, scary boy. And that's the first section. So we tried, I know I personally tried for probably 5-6 hours, just flying around the level, playing around, trying to get to that loading trigger without having to do that puzzle, but it's 100% required as far as we know. So we gotta get in there. Not a big deal. So once we're inside, I use another corner boost to get on top of these chain rocks, I guess. They have terrain that's well above them that I can use to jump off of, and I use that to get out of bounds again. You're going to be seeing a trend in a lot of these levels. You get out of bounds and skip large sections of levels. It's pretty fantastic because it's fast, and I like to go fast. This jump right here is very precise, so I do use a visual cue. I'm looking for Strife's gun to be slightly in the wall, and that gets me enough height to get up to this ledge. And then from this ledge, I can get over to another ledge that is out of bounds and get back in bounds. So this game has a bunch of gauntlet-style sections. Messed up the inbounds a little bit. So this is a gauntlet section here. I get trapped in here until I kill a wave of enemies. Sometimes 2, sometimes 3 waves of enemies. Just kind of depends on the section. The game likes to kind of do that to slow down your progress. But most of those we have different skips for. Even if I don't do a big skip that skips multiple of them, the original route of this game had a bunch of little skips that skipped them in different ways. So I have lots and lots of backups. Oof, okay. So this is my first void out. I'm going to donate $10 every time I void out in this game. So when I lose time, the charity wins. I'm all about that life. And we're gonna be done with level 4 here.
One thing, I don't know if you mentioned it earlier, but it's very useful that when you're out of bounds, you still have a character shadow that goes on the terrain. It makes it a lot easier to like line things up and make sure like you know where you're actually standing.
Oh yeah, this game was actually really easy to like explore the out of bounds of. The main thing is like when Strife is shooting, he can't fall. So I can just like go out of bounds and just start shooting around and start to figure out where I'm at. And that really helped the development of a lot of this route. All right, moving on to level 4, or level 5. This is the Horde. This level is one of the longer levels in the run again. A lot of these are really, really long, but we have some sweet skips here. So this level, we are approaching Mammon's Vault, and it is very well defended. The Legion Shieldbreaker is guarding the elevator that gets us down to Mammon's Vault, and you're supposed to have to kill the Shieldbreaker, but if the beginning part of this run is any indication, we're not going to be doing that because it's slow.
Usually leaves us high and dry. Ours is a righteous cause. Is that why we're working with Samael behind the council's back? Situations.
Want time for a donation here?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. I was glad you mentioned the little void out thing you're doing, because I have a $45 donation here from Imawaka, our last runner, and that was for the $5 per missed super dash jump in Deadcore.
Nice. I always love it when speedrunners lose time and we help the charity out.
Right. Yeah, it was fun to have two runs in a row here with similar things.
All right, so we do get back in bounds right there. If you see that elevator, the elevator is like loaded really, really far off the side of the screen. It's amazing that super jump even works to get to that elevator, but that makes us not have to kill the boss to go down the elevator traditionally. This part of the level is one of the more technical bits of the entire speedrun. We need to go get Fire Shot, or Lava Shot, sorry. Lava Shot is like way off to the side in this level, and it's kind of annoying to get to. There's a big gauntlet section that we have to go around, so I'm going to be doing a skip to get over that gauntlet section. And then from there, I'm going to be trying to not trigger an autosave this entire time. So right now, my autosave is set exactly where I want to be. So if I don't trigger an autosave, I can just kind of death warp back to there. All right, I think we're up there. All right, we're up there. Sick. Okay, so using War, I can get just enough height to get to that top, and then I gotta make sure I fly around and not trigger the autosave, get Lava Shot, and then we can void out. This teleports me back to exactly where I want to be to do the final skip to end the rest of this level. I need to climb this wall. This wall is like really finicky. Sometimes you just get right up it and you get over it, which is ideal. Sometimes I get up to the little ledge that I'm on right now, and then I have to jump over to this chain and hop over and do out of bounds again. And then we just jump straight to the end of the level.
Oh, did you ever talk about FPS yet?
Oh, I did not. So tricks in this game, some of the tricks in this game are FPS dependent. As a community, when this game first came out, we started exploring the game, and someone, I forget who, posted a video of them just like boosting into the stratosphere. Like they got so high off a jump. I sat there for probably like 2-3 hours trying to replicate what he did. Couldn't do it. I had VSync on, I was capped at 60 FPS, and he was at like 600 FPS. So I could not replicate that even if I tried. But now, as a community, we decided to cap it at 120 FPS because we felt that that was like a good mix of tricks that you can do, as well as like makes it equitable to runners. You could run this game at 120 FPS on a fairly low-end PC with if you turn all the settings down. All right, so we got Mammon here. You're going to see a trend with bosses in this run. So this is our Gruyere cheese skip. We get on top of this ledge, and we can kill Memon from up here. This boss is a little bit annoying. Sometimes I'm gonna have to like maneuver around to make sure I'm still hitting him. He spawns lots of clones. He spawns a bunch of enemies that I make sure I'm not hitting. One good thing is that the real Mammon always has the little indicator that I'm gonna be aiming at. but it's pretty uneventful beyond that. So you can go ahead and do a donation or two.
Yeah, sounds good. We have Killicam donating $25, saying 4 a.m. is the best time for a Darksiders Genesis run. Good luck, Sunny, from your friends in Michigan. Also have $250 here from Chez Fromage, who says, staying up late to see Darksiders thoroughly broken, and it's even better with Prolix on the mic. It warms my heart that everyone has still committed 100% to this event despite the setbacks, as now more than ever is time to support MSF. You're all absolutely marvelous, less than 3. Thank you. Yeah, it's I've read many donations from Chez Fromage over the years, but it's funny to see that, right, as you mentioned the boss cheese.
Now we got time for one more.
Sure, quick one here, $5 from Kanyenki, who says, I wait the whole year for this week. A virtual hug to all the tech people working hard to keep the boat floating.
All right, so that's the end of Amon. That's the first like real boss of the run. The other ones are just kind of mini bosses. We do have cheeses for a lot of the bosses. Doing bosses normally is very, very slow, and I don't like doing it. It's also just much safer to do it from the ledge. That boss in particular is actually faster to do regularly, but it requires a trick that's like frame perfect that I'm not very good at. So for marathon safety, I'm just gonna go ahead and go with the cheesiest of cheeses. This is the arena section. So basically this game has like a game mode where you hop into an arena, it shoots waves and waves of enemies at you, and you get rewarded. The first one is required, so like I have to do this to progress the story. And basically what I'm looking for here are some creature cores. So creature cores are an upgrade system in this game that just makes your character more powerful. I need 6 common creature cores before Belial in order to kind of hit a benchmark to get my DPS up to the point where I'm not going to have a terribly difficult fight there. So these creature cores for the common creatures are random, so like any of these guys can drop one, and I need to get them from 6 different creatures. So there's a multitude of different enemies that do spawn in this arena, and I'm just kind of hoping they do drop their core. Enemy positions and enemy types in this are static, so I know exactly where enemies are going to spawn, when they're going to spawn, so it's pretty predictive, and I'm able to use basically the same strategy every time. So if you want to read a couple more donations, this is going to go on for 10 waves.
Yeah, sure thing. Just let me know when you're done in case I'm busy reading instead of paying attention. Here's $5 from Boop Snoot, who says RE3 remake train choo choo. Referring to our bonus game 3 coming up later in the marathon, if we can raise enough for that incentive. Also, okay, some older themes here, but I gotta mention Sammy P donating $22.39. Sam Train hype. Sad I can't be there in person this year. Looking forward to next year. Yes, we had some people named Sam donating because they're named Sam. A perfectly good reason to donate, by the way. Also have $25 here from Revi, first time donating to a GDQ. Keep up the good work and gotta go fast. So here's $15 from Drake, watched for a long time and can donate for the first time. Excited to be a part of this. More donations to come throughout the week. Thank you so much. And also $10 from an anonymous first-time donor. They say, first-time donating, but I've been watching for a couple of years. I'm trying to donate to more charities in the gaming community. Thanks for the years of entertainment and all the amazing work. $30 from Devil Dog 357. It's not a late night GDQ in the US without Prolix on the mic. Always good to hear you and enjoy your company with these amazing runs. Good luck to the runners and keep it classy, chat.
All right, so we're moving on to wave 10. This is when it spawns a boss on me. We're going to see the first use of Anarchy form in the run on this boss. So another change in the 1.0 patch is your Anarchy form does not charge as quickly in later patches. So Anarchy form is this like big demon that you can turn into. You do a lot of damage, but more importantly, you're completely invulnerable while it's active. So we use it a lot for safety more than just damage. It's going to enable me to take out this boss before he can like actually do anything to Strife. At this point in the game, we're still fairly underpowered. Like I have 2 elemental shots, I have beam shot and static shot, but none of those really deal like a lot of single target damage. So by using Anarchy Form right there, we're able to clear out that boss pretty quickly, and we're gonna have a fairly clean Arena 1. I only voided out once there, got knocked off. So I think that's 3 voids so far. Let's make some more money for charity. All right, moving right along. So we're going to be moving into what I consider the hardest section of the run. These next 4 levels are like incredibly difficult from a speedrunning perspective. First ones are not as bad. We got coming up Decay. This level is pretty complicated casually. So the game throws 3 Dreadwalkers at you, and you're supposed to kill them in sequence. Each Dreadwalker you kill weakens the final Dreadwalker. But I don't have time to go kill all of the various Dreadwalkers, so I'm just going to kill the main one. He hits really, really hard, and I'm going to need to pull out some more delicious, delicious cheese in order to beat him. So first thing, we got to fly over to the Dreadwalkers area. I get my gravity shot right there. Again, every elemental shot is going to increase Strife space damage, and that gravity shot is actually going to be used for single target damage a little bit later. And then we're going to go ahead and get out of bounds. This part of the run is actually like really weird to practice. I was doing a run earlier today, and the glare on my screen made it absolutely impossible to see this out of bounds. But thankfully, we're running it at like 4 a.m., so it makes it really, really easy to see what I'm doing there. And then we get into an acute angle, pop up to this side, and we're moving on to the second part. That skips like a couple of smaller puzzles. It's really not like a huge time save. If you do those puzzles ideally, we're looking at maybe a minute saved right there. This skip is much, much larger. So we're going to be flying up to the top right here. Really glad I got that one first try. That boost has been giving me a lot of trouble. And then we're going to get on top of this pillar and super jump over this big door right here. This is going to take us to the Dreadwalker, and our Dreadwalker is going to be some delicious pepper jack cheese. Actually, I fell out of bounds there. Not a big deal. So when you do screw up in this game, you quit the main menu, because this will actually get you to the autosave, whereas if I were to abandon the mission, I have to start the entire level over again. So we get to do some more skips here. Lapra, what are your thoughts on pizza rolls?
Well, in the war between pizza rolls and bagel bites, I'm pretty sure pizza rolls are just far superior. Bagel bites are definitely not top tier where pizza rolls are. Chris,
Well,
do you have anything on that?
That is such a hot take. Pizza rolls are good, but like you're really clowning bagel bites, and that's unfortunate.
I am gonna clown bagel bites.
Yeah, so I'm glad we got that skip first try. Oh, then we voided out again. So yeah, bagel bites are definitely the clear best snack when you're looking for some late time eats. They are just better. They're better than pizza rolls.
And I'm going to not yell at you, but I'm going to heavily disagree.
Do you know how to make them correctly? Like, is that the problem?
All right. Yeah, you put them in the oven. Okay. So we got some pepper jack cheese, because this is a spicy skip right here. So this fight is probably like, this cheese is the least cheesy of the cheese. So this Dreadwalker can still kill me while I'm up on this log. If I am like not in the air at the correct time, he throws his spear and he one-shots me. Again, I'm supposed to kill all the other Dreadwalkers. That's slow. I don't feel like doing that. So you get up on this log and you can kill him from relative safety. I do position myself where sometimes this little torch right here can block a shot for me. And yeah, that Dreadwalker is dealt with pretty easily. I'm a little bit low on common creature cores. Usually I get 2 more right there, so my damage might be a little low at the end of this run. So we might have to do it live. It's gonna be great.
YOLO.
All about that YOLO. It's like the Miller's 35 shrimp. Just YOLO it.
Oh. Now that's something we can agree on. 35 shrimp does beat pizza rolls and bagel bites.
Oh yeah, 35 shrimp is like the ultimate late night snack.
And exactly 35, 34 or 46, or 35, 34 or 36 do not have the same effect. I have
Those are
tested
just
it.
not as good. So this skip right here, this is the hardest skip in the run, and I'm gonna give it, I think I'm doing pretty good on time. So I failed it the first 2 times. You only get 2 tries. You do have to use Strife's clone. At this point in the game, I only have 2 uses of his clone. So this skip basically skips this entire level, and I really want to get it. So I'm going to give it 2 more tries. If I don't get it, there is a backup that I can do. A little bit slower, but gotta go for the swag.
Swag strats and speedrunning are what I live for.
Oh yeah. There's no use if you don't go for the swag.
Absolutely.
That's not it. Yeah, so what I'm doing here is I'm getting into this corner, and then sometimes this corner just likes to eat my jump, like right there, and you have to clone a pretty precise time after the jump, which pushes you into the corner and gives you more height. What's unfortunate about that area is that corner doesn't extend very high, so if you clone too early or too late, you don't get enough height to get to the end of the level. So I'm gonna have to go around this entire level. This level's gigantic, and do some more skips in order to get to the end. One of the main things that I like about that skip is it does get rid of this janky strat right here. These pink crystals are part of one of War's abilities you get later on, and I can boost off of them, but the collision on them is like super weird. So like you see here, basically what I'm doing right now is I'm holding right on my keyboard so I can get a perfect 90-degree movement, and then I'm just mashing my A button on controller, and this is going to eventually boost me high enough to get over a wall, but it's really inconsistent, and that's why we have the big skip at the beginning. Unfortunately, this is like one of the big reset points in the run, so it's hard. This game is really hard. Sometimes you can just lose minutes to stuff that's fairly out of your control. But yeah, if you have a donation while I'm trying to get over this wall, feel free.
Okay, I have a $50 donation here from a Solary Knight who says, "Hello SGDQ, thanks for all the speedruns so far and holding this event. Looking forward to Darksiders, love from Spain." And $35 here from Real HDNA, "Riding the hype train all the way to Pringles. Thanks for sharing your incredible talents for a great cause. Heart." Yeah, we've got Pringles the video game coming up probably about 24 hours from now, actually. And here's $25 from Anonymous. "Thanks SGDQ for keeping me entertained while I work from home." $25 here from JT Dogzone. "Good luck to all the streamers. Every year GDQ gives us 2 weeks of good times with a great cause."
Alright, this skip is just not behaving. So again, these pink crystals are just like, the collision on them is super weird. So sometimes you get perfect height like that, and sometimes it just completely eats your jump. That's why we prefer to do the other skip and go right to the end of the level, but it's not a big deal to have to go around and do that backup. So this is Blight Cannon. There is some delicious cheese for this boss, but it's slower than doing the fight normally. This fight is like really non-threatening. Basically, it's just like a face that shoots poison at me, so I can kind of just stand in its hitbox and shoot off gravity shots. So gravity shot does the most single target damage in the game when you're within the hitbox. So it's a little bit risky to use in certain situations, but this boss is like a non-boss, so I get to just kind of hang out here and just wail away on it. Blight Cannon is actually really important in the run though, because it drops one of the better boss cores. So I was mentioning those creature cores earlier. You have common creature cores, and then you have boss cores. Boss cores actually like affect your character in meaningful ways. So I'm going to be getting the Blight Cannon core and the Astarte core, and hopefully equipping both of them, and that's going to increase my damage by quite a bit. So other than elemental shots, that's really the only thing I'm going to do to increase my damage. There are many other ways that you can do it, but they're all slow, so we need to find other ways of getting damage. Alright, and that's chapter 8.
Oh boy, it's time for everyone's favorite chapter.
Oh yeah, we got the run killer boss coming up.
Don't worry, you're a pro gamer. I believe in you.
So I do have to do the creature core menu here. One thing, if you do this menu too fast, you can get a pop-up that doesn't go away until you trigger a transition. So by doing the menu here, if I do accidentally trigger that, I can go ahead and just go right into the level and it'll fix it. I used to do that menu right before Belial, and I've had to exit out of this level more often than I would like to admit. So moving on to Belial, we're going to be skipping a climbing section here by just kind of jumping over this little pipe. This doesn't actually save any time, and it's supposed to be swag, but sometimes the swag comes back and bites you. So we're gonna get over to it. Maybe one of these days we'll get over to it. All right, we're there. Cool. And then I have to use War. This is one of the only uses of Vorpal Blade that's like 100% required in order to get into Belial's arena. So if you guys want to explain this fight, it's really hard to do this fight and talk. So go for it.
Well, I should start off by saying there is a really big cheese strat for this boss where you can get up to the waterfall on the top left side of the arena, but that is very slow. And Fruitcake, do you want to explain why that's slow?
So right here, he's going to be managing ads, and he's going to be trying to make sure he concentrates on taking ads down and also focusing on the boss, because if he doesn't, correct me if I'm not, but he can regain health, and it's a little more difficult to do from the cheese position.
Yeah, if you're up on that waterfall, you just can't hit these guys at all. I didn't get any rage pips there, so this is going to be a very scary phase.
Yeah, this phase you can die extremely easily. Can happen in mere seconds, so we'll let him focus.
And I do have to do this entire part on keyboard mouse, which is like really unfortunate. Movement is just like not as precise on KBM.
Is there no way to do this fight on the controller?
You can, but I can't do my like super fast auto shoot without doing keyboard inputs. So I just do the entire thing on keyboard mouse and suck it up. So yeah, he's gonna alternate every 25% between his phase when he summons his zombies and his like on the ground phase. Every on the ground phase he gets a little bit stronger, so this is the most dangerous phase right here. Hopefully I'm able to do this quickly. Nope, dead. So you see there how quickly you can die in this fight. When you do die, you get a respawn timer on your other horsemen. So right now I'm running around as War, just running circles because War doesn't actually do any damage. So I just kind of got to run around until Strife is available to be used again.
Yeah, luckily the nice thing about this game having two characters is if one dies, you just instantly go to the other. So unlike most games where if you die, you'll get kicked out of the level and you would have to redo everything. That would be pretty annoying when we're already, 75% of the way into a boss fight.
Yeah, this isn't like quite your Souls game where if you die, you have to just start back from square one. It's a little bit more lenient than that. And it does have a pretty cool co-op mode where one person plays as War, one person plays as Strife. But runs of that are probably a little bit slower because Strife is really the only useful character. And then this last phase, I'm just able to switch into Anarchy form and go ahead and kill him pretty quickly. And that's Belial.
Overall, that went pretty well.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Each death wastes about 15 seconds, so like not the biggest deal in the world, but if you're on a good pace run, dying on that fight is really, really painful.
Do you still get souls if like you get a screen transition?
Yeah, so souls will automatically pick up just regardless, and even if like they're off screen when you exit the level, they'll still show up. So I do have to finish off a couple quests here. This is to get me Rapid Fire. Rapid Fire is going to increase my damage while I'm on a horse. So it just increases Strife's base shoot speed by 5%, and I'm going to be having to do a lot of his base shooting in this fight. So this is the boss, I guess the boss rush section of this run, where I'm going to be just hopping from boss to boss. So this is a star day. She runs around this pyre in her first phase, and then she alternates into a second phase where I have to kill Nephilim. This fight is not cheesable in any way. The arena just doesn't allow for it. Like, we've looked all over this, and it just doesn't exist. So we have to do this fight fairly normally. There's a glitch I'm going to be going for that does speed up these phases, and I'll point it out when we get to it. So these are the Nephilim. She's going to spawn 1 in this phase, and then 2 in the next 3 in the next one after that.
Yeah, unfortunately, this arena is so big that getting anywhere out of bounds wouldn't really do much, because you'd only have visual on like a quarter of the entire arena compared to other fights where you can see like the entire thing on screen at once.
Oh yeah, and she's moving the entire time. It just would be a gigantic pain. Oh, this is a fun glitch. She can turn invisible because she's cool like that. Okay, so I wasn't able to get the glitch there because she was invisible for when I was trying to execute it. Some of the bosses in this game just like randomly do that. I think it has to do with them phasing when they're off screen. So right there, Astarte was off screen when I was like killing off that Nephilim, triggering her phase transition, and she started this phase invisible. Luckily the game does kind of update, and she does become attackable again like fairly quickly, but it makes it really, really difficult when I'm trying to speed up the phases. So we're gonna pop Anarchy Form here. I do get 2 uses of Anarchy Form in this fight. I'm not gonna use the entire first one, so I can have it up again for the next transition. The main thing with Anarchy Form here is I want to be in her path because she does friendly fire. So if these guys are in her path when she's charging, she's going to kill her own dudes. She's not a very good commander. She definitely likes to charge, likes to go fast. Alright, so we're going to go for the glitch again here. Basically what's going to happen is I'm going to run out my hot streak bar using static shot, and I'm going to mount up on my horse on the same frame that it runs out. So let's see if I get it. So got it right there. This is an infinite shot, so right now I'm shooting both static shot and Strife's horse shot, which is basically doubling my damage. It's going to make this phase go very quickly. The world record run gets this all 3 times you can possibly do it, and gets this Astarte fight down really, really fast. It's really impressive. That trick is not easy to do. So then we got the 3 Nephilim phase coming up. This phase is probably just one of the harder phases to execute quickly, because I have to charge my Anarchy Form as well as dodge all of their attacks and dodge Astarte, and hopefully I can get them into range of her charge so she can help me kill them.
She really doesn't seem to like friendly fire today.
Nah, she's charging all over the place, but not where I want her to go.
There we go.
No. Nope, still not a good one. She is just not cooperating. Astarte hates speed. That's okay though. We'll get there one way or another. So get another hot streak charge. This one I have to be at pretty much a full hot streak bar because she has like an extra attack that she throws at me here. I do need to equip another creature core so I can get the Astarte core on and do a little bit more damage here. But this fight is essentially over. She does get closer and closer to the pyre each time. So this time is going to be a really, really tight circle, and she spawns a lot of enemies in this phase. So really need to get the glitch, and we get some infinite shot here. She knocks me immediately off. Basically any of these enemies hitting me knocks me off my horse. Really not a fun time when that happens because it takes a little bit to recover. I'm going to try to get the glitch again here. Got it. Oh, and it wore off. And then we just have to kind of follow her around the pyre and finish her off. She's kind of a pain at this point. There's a lot of enemies here that can dismount me. Those angels that have the bow and arrows, they basically can 1 or 2 shot me. So I have to constantly be moving and finish off the Astarte. That was not too bad of a fight. I got one really fast phase.
Yes, luckily those are like the 2, at least in my opinion, like the most annoying bosses to deal with in the run. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're through the hard section of the run. So those 4, like I said, those 4 levels are just brutal. They have some of the hardest skips. They have the hardest bosses. So getting through that relatively cleanly is pretty good. So moving on to Bastion's Fall right here. This is another really long level that you can just skip to the end of. Our movement tech is just too good, and we can go too fast with it. So we like to skip to the end whenever possible. This is an area where I have to fight 3 waves of enemies. So we got a bunch of fallen angels right here. These guys are a real pain. They do a lot of damage. And then we're gonna have another wave of enemies with more fallen angels. I have to use Strife's clones here to make sure that they don't kill me. As you see there, that shot takes off like most of my health, and it knocks me back like a mile. So if I get knocked off of here, I have to like completely restart this level. It's not a fun time. I had to have in practice. Wasted about 2 minutes. But then I have to kill this final dude off right here. And then I'm gonna be doing some delicious, what is this one? This is cheddar. We got some cheddar cheese right here. So by getting onto this little ledge, Grinner doesn't actually realize I exist, so I can go ahead and kill him from the relative safety of well over here. It's nice and delicious. So speaking of cheeses, what is your favorite kind of cheese, Prolix? You wanna read off a donation or two?
Sure. Yeah, I'm a big fan of provolone.
That's a classic.
Yeah, there's something about a really good Havarti can always be nice. Anyway, okay, yeah, let's see. More food talk. $10 from Death by Gluten. Please no pizza rolls versus bagel bites talk. Too late for that one. Cure Light Wounds chiming in with $5 and saying, when pizza's on a bagel, you can eat pizza any time. Yes, thank you for that excellent point. I'm sure it'll single-handedly win the argument.
That is a person of culture right there.
We've been having this fight for like a year.
I mean, there's no fight.
Probably like
There's
a year
just-
and a half.
There is just a correct answer and an incorrect answer. It's okay to be wrong. Like, you're fine.
I believe
that's
the term
nice.
you're fun.
All right, so we got the maelstrom here. This level, this is a gigantic level where you're supposed to go around and kill 3 storm callers, but instead I'm gonna try to jump to the final one. This rock is like not solid in places, so I gotta get into this door here. I might have just messed up. Yeah. Okay, that's okay. So we're gonna go back to the main menu and try that again. Sometimes the terrain is like, it's really weird. It's hard to explain. There's like pitfalls and other things you have to watch out for, and I just walked right into one because paying attention is difficult. So we're just gonna do the skip again. Get to see some more delicious cheese. Again. Okay. One more try. So when you're eating your bagel bites, do you put them in the toaster or do you microwave them?
If you put bagel bites or pizza rolls in the microwave, you're doing it wrong. That's all I have to say.
Hard agree. Yep.
Oven is the way to go.
Yeah, but sometimes you just need them quick. Like, you don't have enough time. You just got to be in and out.
What? Come on. Really?
So like snack food speed
we
runs.
aim for quality.
Snack food speedrun strats. Like, I know people that make ramen in the microwave. Like, it's not advised, but, I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Alright, so this is the Stormcaller. We got another boss here. This is some Parmesan. Delicious Parmesan cheese. We got time for a donation. This boss is fairly quick though.
Yeah, okay. Here is $120 from Gene Freak, saying, thank you all for setting up this event despite all the challenges. Can't wait for the FF7 remake run. Greetings from Finland. Thanks, Gene Freak.
I love that we're at like morning European hours. This is fantastic.
Yeah, it's wonderful to get all the like European donations in at this time and everything. Yeah.
Alright, so we're moving on to Dagon. This is the next like big baddie of the run. This is probably like my least favorite boss casually. He's just like super hard. He spawns a bunch of ads. He does a lot of like lightning stuff that you're supposed to dodge. When he phases, he becomes unattackable. But we got some more cheese here. This is some feta right here. One of the things that I have to do is move backwards on this platform, and now you can see Dagon does not have an HP bar. That's intentional. This deloads his AI, so I'm not going to get any of his transitions. This also means I don't know how much HP he has left, but that's okay, because all I have to do is just throw a bunch of bullets into him. He'll die eventually. At this point in the game, these bosses are starting to get a whole lot of HP, so this is going to take a hot minute. Let's do like 3 or 4 donations, just hammer them out.
Okay, $5 here from I'm D-Man says, I'm happy that SGDQ is being continued online. If Isaac is watching, David says hi. Hi, Isaac. Here's $10 from Lucy. Speedrunning has helped me through some hard times, and now I want to give back what little I can. Also, I have to see the RE3 remake get destroyed. Well, thank you for your contribution, Lucy. It's much appreciated, and every little bit helps. $10 as well here from Daniel. I'm glad to see SGDQ is alive and well this year. Thank you to the volunteers who make these events possible, and good luck to the runners. $30 here from Jared and Rowan. Shout out to my brother who hopefully is watching right now. We may be apart, but GDQ brings us together now. Love you, bro.
All right, so that's daggone done. We are quickly approaching the end of this run. These last few levels are actually really, really quick. So we're going to be moving straight into the Dredgeworks. Casually, this level is like ridiculously long. This is Moloch's mining operation, and he has a gigantic drill that we need to stop. But if you've learned anything from the beginning of this run, we're not going to be doing any of that, because why would we? We can just horse warp. This first horse warp gets me to the other end of a drawbridge that I'm supposed to flip a switch for, but not going to do that. Second horse warp gets me a bunch of height. This part up here, I'm going to be doing a skip to get to some unloaded terrain that's like really high above the ground for no apparent reason. So there's like a big platform right here I can just land on. I'm going to do a super jump and then another super jump to get all the way to the top of the wall. This is the top of the drill. You're supposed to explore this section, and then you have to go like underneath the drill and blow up the drill. Not doing that. We're just going to jump around the drill because there's platforms that are placed there handily for me to jump on. And then we're going to have to kill these 3 waves of enemies. These enemies are kind of RNG. Like, sometimes they decide to not jump down, which is like a giant pain. So I'm going to be trying my best to kill them while they are up in the air. But sometimes that's just like not doable. So sometimes this section can destroy runs. It's really unfortunate because it's so late. But if the enemies decide to not jump down for like 30 seconds, it really, really hurts. So hopefully they play nice here. So yeah, if you want to read off a donation to during this, go for it.
Sure thing. Here is $10 from Amethyst. Thank you to GDQ staff and runners for making this happen. You are all fantastic. Despite the distance, I still feel an incredible sense of community. Shout out to the Spooky Ghost Hot Tub crew for being excellent people to digitally experience with this amazing event with.
Nice. Okay, so this is the Legion Shieldbreaker. This is the boss. I'm gonna. Oh, okay. And I screwed it up. Oh no, I got it. Okay, so there's a quick kill you can do on the boss where you don't blow up any of the barrels by this like little section over here, and the boss then like walks over the bridge and he kills himself on his own barrels. For some reason, like each individual barrel does like 50% of his HP, and that's much faster than me actually taking him out. So we try to lure him over to those and use that for our quick kill. All right, War Machine. This is probably my favorite level. This is like a big, long, vertical level where you're moving down and further down. And like, this is probably the level that I labbed the most, where I was just like running around exploring. But the developers so rudely put invisible walls kind of all over this level. There's also death planes all over the place. So they tried really, really hard to make it so you can't cheese this level. But you'll see what's going to happen here in just a minute. Like I said, it's a big vertical level, and you can basically see the entire thing once I move into the next section, and it's pretty much all open to you. You just got to get there. So we're going to be doing a skip here. It's a skip pulling this lever. That lever's slow. I don't want to pull it. Then we're going to be moving through this area. Most of this is fairly intentional, except for this. This is not intentional until I fail it. Okay, cool. So I'm going to do another intentional void out here. I think it's like, what, 5 or 6, maybe 7. It's been quite a few. So Charity's going to make some money today. That's good. And then we're going to get on this very specific post right here. So I'm going to thread the needle between 2 very large death planes that extend out really far and skip straight to the end of the level. And then this is the final like combat gauntlet section of the run that I actually have to do. There's these 3 like enemies that are going to be spawning flame crowns, and I have to kill all 3 of them. They spawn in succession, and while they are alive, they're buffing the enemies around them, making them deal a whole lot of damage, making this one of the scarier sections of the run. And they're also constantly spawning enemies, so I want to take care of this section as quickly as possible and hopefully as safely as possible. They can also jump all the way up there, which is really annoying. It makes them really hard to hit, but they do teleport around a bunch. So yeah, we just gotta take out these 3 guys. I want to charge my Anarchy form as quickly as possible because again, this is a fairly dangerous section, and I want the safety and invulnerability that it provides. Oh, okay. We got another death. So you can see just how quickly Strife can die here. It's pretty squishy, but War is actually pretty capable in this situation. He can finish these guys off, and I'm going to use the game's execute mechanic to kind of get rid of the rest of their health here. War does quite a bit of damage with his actual like Earth Shatter ability, but for the most part he's fairly useless. Gotta not die here. If both characters die, you have to reload from a reset, and that is a yikes from a speedrun perspective. Where'd he go? This guy teleports all over the place. It's annoying. Alright. And that is War Machine.
And now we get to choose the final boss.
Oh yeah. You mean we're not gonna fight the final boss?
Fighting the final boss is slow and very dangerous.
Yeah, he's really not fun to fight. So this is gonna be Moloch. This boss took me, I don't know, probably like 3-4 hours of attempts casually. He's not a good time. He's a big scary dude, does a lot of damage. He tells me to keep up, but I think I'm going pretty fast. I hope I'm going pretty fast. Got to use Strife's clone here to draw him away so I can do this out of bounds here. This is again one of the more precise out of bounds of the run, and you could actually do that one on 60 FPS. It's just like I think the angle is like within. It's very, very, very precise on 60 FPS. So we hop out of the arena, hop over to the other side here, and we're gonna do some Moloch cheese. This is our Colby Jack section of the run. So go ahead and read off a couple of donations. We're gonna be here for a while.
Okay, yeah, here is a donation we received from Remnant, who said, you should just invest in an air fryer to cook whatever pizza spin-off you want to consume. Perfectly crisp exterior, perfect interior, not sponsored. Thank you very much for that. Let's see, $15 here from The Paradox. Great to see you guys made it back for SGDQ this year despite circumstances. Working from home now means we can secretly watch all day. Best of luck, GD Crew. $250 here from Gray Kitty. Thank you so much. Gray Kitty says, I was planning to surprise my daughter with a trip to watch SGDQ in person, but instead will celebrate the fact that dedicated runners and volunteers still managed to make it happen. Thanks to everyone involved for the great work you do. Brian donated $15 saying, even if we can't meet in person, it's still just as awesome to see the speedrunning community come together to bring good into the world. Shout out to the tech crew.
Alright, so we're going to be wrapping up Moloch here in a bit. So this boss is pretty much over. Like, there's really no combat involved. I'm just kind of doing some Colby Jack from out of bounds. But I do have some shout outs that I want to do. So first off, Darksiders speedrun community. Y'all are awesome. Speedrunning really is like a community effort. I would not be here without other people running this game and glitch hunting and routing. It's so awesome watching a group of people get together and do a game like this. I want to shout out the Octopath community. Y'all are my favorite. Love you guys. And then I want to shout out my 2 co-commentators. They're up with me at 4 a.m., which is just absolutely insane. Thank you guys so much. I was really worried about this run. I didn't think I'd be able to carry commentary on my own. It's a hard speed run. You guys are awesome. Like, thank you so much for being here with me and supporting me in this. But yeah, we're gonna be coming up on time here pretty quick, so let's go ahead and finish this final cutscene right here. And then once I enter the portal, it's gonna be time. So time.
Very nice.
All right. You guys have any last minute things you want to say? I've already said my piece.
I'll second you on a shout out to the Octopath boys. Love all of you. Thanks for spawning the pizza roll bagel bite debate that's been going on for a year and a half that will never end.
Speak of the devil.
It's never gonna end. Also, we only had 1 yikes. You only said yikes 1 time this run. That's pretty impressive. There's only a 1 yikes run.
That wasn't too bad. I'll have to go through and check how many void outs I have so I can make my donation. But yeah, I think that is it. That's Darksiders Genesis. Thanks to everybody for watching. If you want to learn to speedrun this game, Darksiders speedrun community on Discord. Super awesome people. We're happy to help you out. But yeah, much love. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night, morning, wherever you are. I don't even know what time it is. I'm gonna go to bed.
I'm gonna go to bed.
It's nap time.
All right. Well, thank you so much to Sunnymuffin and commentary crew. Enjoy your sleep. That was Darksiders Genesis any percent. Wonderful run there. Really appreciate it. During that run, we have some more donations coming in from all of you, including $10 from Zelenak, who says, "Hey guys, it's wild to see Genesis being broken in half and sped through like this after my casual playthrough earlier this year, and I'm loving every second of it. Would love to see a future GDQ feature my favorite entry in the franchise, Darksiders 2, receiving a similar treatment due to how abusable some of the mechanics already are and how much longer it is. Would be interesting to see what time you could cut it down to." Well, just so you know, you may not be able to see it at future, but you could see it right now at a past GDQ. I remember hosting for a Darksiders 2 run years ago. If you want to go look that up, maybe interesting. And yeah, now I've got Genesis under my belt added to my collection there. All right, we're going to take a quick break here, get some Twitch ads out there for you all, and then we'll be right back with more Summer Games Done Quick 2020.
All right, everyone, we are back. You just heard from Prolix. I will be taking over the Bioshock Infinite portion of hosting here. So hope you're all having a good time. My name is Ecdysis, and let's read some stuff.
On you.
First, I'd like to talk about the Yeti. The Yeti creates amazing merch and apparel for video game culture, and has been an official merch supporter of Games Done Quick events since 2011. Over $1 million has been donated to various GDQ charities, and all profits from the SGDQ 2020 collection go to Doctors Without Borders. Shop the Yeti's official SGDQ 2020 collection at www.theyeti.com. We have $25 from Anonymous saying, "Thank you for an amazing event." We have $80 from Yoro Lamore saying, "Love and peace to everyone. Keep the donos going, and make this just as great an SGDQ as every year. And make that blindfolded night trap run happen." We have $20 from Big Tex